We do look like ghosts. Good evening and welcome to Success in the City. My name is Helen Webster. I'm with the lovely
Sandra Scott, and our fabulous guest today is
Angie Redhead, Liverpool City Council City Assets.
Oh, that's a good title.
lead of everything, really.
Yeah.
That's lead of the everything.
Lead of the world. So thank you, everybody. As you can see, we're looking a little bit like ghosts because we are in St. George's Hall. So I'm going to give you a little tour with the camera.
Okay.
So we are, as Angie can talk us through, as I do the camera work, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, so
Is that all right?
This is the concert room in St. George's Hall. Genuinely my favourite space in the city because I think it's just one of the best kept secrets. And this concert room, Charles Dickens used to read the penny readings back in the day because he believed that it didn't matter, you know, what you did, what job you did, how much money you earned, that everyone should have access to culture and art and literature. So this is just a fabulous space and we use it all the time for performances, music, singing, comedy. And this was also the place which you'll love, where we did the handover for the Eurovision official keys.
Fortunate enough to be invited to that, thank goodness. It's fabulous. And it is a pro because it is a bit ghostly, we were saying. And Charles Dickens did the penny readings here. And of course, it was a great thing to tell ghost stories at Christmas time. That was a Victorian tradition. So I've actually been here to a more recent event with my mum a few years ago where they did that, and it's just, they do stuff here every year at Christmas. It's fantastic. For people who are watching who aren't from Merseyside, this isn't St. George's Hall, though. This is one room in St. George's Hall. The concert room, the main hall, much larger. Isn't it?
It's massive.
Massive. This is a treasure. Yeah, definitely.
So we do have a little format. We are like super slick. Okay. So first we shout out to the kids, any little people who've done amazing things this week. So I'm going to go first, and I'm going to shout out to the two young lads who were at Aintree Races who bought a bag of flip-flops. Bought a bag of flip-flops and sold them outside, and I thought, how entrepreneurial. Amazing. So big shout out to those two young lads. They were about 11, and I thought, fair
They'll be on Dragon's Den
That's what I
next
thought.
year.
There'll be a few people doing that next year.
So shout out to them, and I hope you earned loads of money.
That's very clever. Shout out to kids who've gone back to school today and been told they've got the GCSE speaking exam on Friday.
Oh.
Yeah, so we've had a few of them, so I'm trying to fit them in 30 minutes. One lad, 10 when I was teaching him, 9 o'clock on Thursday night, just to fit them in. The poor things. I feel dead sorry for the kids with the COVID and everything. So massive shout out for everyone doing speaking exams in languages this month.
Shout out to all of them.
Yeah.
Shout out to all
Well, mine sounds a little bit rubbish now.
No, it's not.
You should hear some of mine. They're outrageous. Don't worry.
So my niece, Annabelle, who's 11, on Sunday, she said, I bought you all a present, and she bought us all a coronation bag for life from Tesco. It was very serious, so she handed them out to all of us. But it was so...
She must have wanted to do that.
she did.
It's a lovely thing to do. A lovely thing to do. So big shout out to her for being kind. Yeah. Okay. A success this week for you personally, something, it can be anything. It hasn't got to be work related. It can be life related. I won nothing on the Grand National this year, so that's not my success.
I won a 5. You always win on the national.
I know, but this year I never.
That's because you didn't do a sweep.
£5
won on the national. But my success is plants. My seedlings are like that now. They're rocketing. They're made up of the marigolds are up. I know I mentioned them last week. The tomatoes, I've got to get them potted on now the weekend. They're just rocketing, so I'm delighted.
So if you need any tomatoes, you know where to go.
I know, I do know.
Yeah, if there's a tomato shortage, we're okay.
So it's really difficult because I'm so involved in Eurovision at the moment, and a lot of things that we're doing we can't reveal because it's confidential.
That's a shame.
But this has been a week of wins, and I have a little bell on my desk that I ding this little bell, and then everyone goes, what's happened? So anyway, we've had some difficult challenges to overcome, and we've overcome them. But outside of that, I have cycled 30 miles so far.
That's week. Brilliant.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Which I just love. I've discovered cycling in lockdown.
Did you?
And that's it. And I just love it now. Amazing. That's like the way I start my day. cycling, and the way I end a tough day, by the time I get home, I've left it behind
Lovely.
me. So
Yeah.
love it.
My
Absolutely
bum
love
just
it.
burns and my thighs just
It's I'm not gonna. I need to be honest. It's an electric bike.
Okay.
I pedal
You've still got to
from
pedal a
Old
bit.
Swan. You know, you have
Yeah.
to. You can't. It's not a moped.
It's not a motorbike.
So I come from Old Swan. So that's I barely
play.
drive the car now. So I'm on the bike all the time.
And it was beautiful today. Beautiful
It was
today.
gorgeous.
The weather was amazing. So my success is that we've just got our first Whack-a-Ball after school club with Holy Rosary. So I had a little conversation with them.
brilliant.
So Whack-a-Ball's coming to town. We're going to bring it to town.
Great.
And we want Liverpool. It's come to the UK, but we want Liverpool to be the flagship city. And we took
Great.
it there last year, and they're having us back. And we're going to be working with the our special little people, our send kids.
Brilliant.
Because they were dead good at it. So I'm made up. So yeah, so we're starting that next week.
Oh, that's
So that's
good.
it. So that's a massive
Fantastic.
success. Yeah, brilliant. We have got some. Alison Telfer, my lovely school friend.
Oh,
Angie.
hi, Alison.
Look at that. There you go.
Fancy bumping into you here.
I know. And I haven't even got my glasses and I can read that.
I
So
know.
that's a
I
bit of a
was like,
success
when
as well,
you
isn't
said
it?
what's your success, I thought, oh God, I can't see that.
Yeah. That's a good
Okay,
thing.
from it.
So we're going to play this or that.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to
No,
go
you
first?
can.
Okay. Greece or Spain?
Tough, because I've worked in both
I
of
know.
those places, but I'm going to say Greece. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's got my heart. Yeah.
A lot of people who, in my experience, who've lived and worked in Greece and Spain always choose Greece.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've got a friend who speaks fluent Greek from working out there. Yeah, she just loved it so much.
I spent 5 years out in Greece, and you could leave your purse in a phone box. Phone box, remember
The
them?
phone box, yeah.
And it would be there 2 days later. And then I went to
lovely.
Spain.
No.
You can't
And you
do that
couldn't.
there.
No, you really can't. Oh.
What about you, Sam?
Okay. Would I say Greece or Spain? Spain.
Spain.
Yeah. No, it's not fair that, because I like all the cultural aspects of Spain and the museums and things like that in the cities, but I haven't been to cities in Greece. I've never visited Athens, not to stay, which I'd love to do. So I don't know enough to say that. But in terms of a relaxing holiday, Greece, hands down. In terms of going to a city break and seeing things, Spain. And I speak Spanish,
can only
but I don't
choose
speak
one.
Spain. I don't speak Greek, do I? I know Efaristo, which is thank you. That's it.
I know.
And Yamas, that's it.
So I've not been to Greece. I've been to Crete, but I've not like stayed in like the centre of Greece. So I would say Spain because I've been there. But yeah, I quite fancy Greece. And when you look at the photos of the Greek islands, they always look gorgeous, don't they?
Oh, no, they are. They are. And, you know, I've worked on some of the big islands, but I really wanted to experience real Greece, an island that doesn't have an airport. And I worked on an island called Thassos. You flew to the mainland and you got the ferry across. And that, you know, my family all came out to see me. And I was so nervous because, you know, they like Disneyland. And I was like, you don't need to come and see me. You know, you might not like it. There isn't a lot to do. Anyway, they came out. They absolutely loved it. And they still say now, the barometer of boiled eggs, of Thassos boiled eggs, they still talk about them now.
Amazing.
Brilliant.
So,
and also Spain, because we just sorted our Spanish trip with Chataway, our first one, because we've done an Italian trip and a French trip the year before lockdown, and we've never been to Spain, and we have more people do Spanish than anything, so we're going to Spain.
Amazing.
So I'm dead excited about it.
Cool.
But that's another story.
Brilliant.
Okay, so we've got Eurovision coming.
yeah.
So the Euro Village,
Yes.
that's what it's called, that they're building on the front, to watch the Eurovision.
Yeah.
Or watching it here in St George's Hall, because they're doing both.
She's good. She is good.
I'm obsessed. I broke my heart over my ticket, but we're not even discussing
Well,
it.
we're sold out anyway for the final here at St George's, which is going to be amazing. It's in partnership with Pride, and we've got a brilliant line.
No, because people are going to talk while it's on.
Yeah, but I'm going to say the Euro Village at Pierhead, because I actually think that would be better than the arena.
I'm going to go there every day.
Yeah.
I'm dead excited.
Because you'll need a ticket for the final, though.
Yeah, I know it said that. Yeah. No, I'm going to watch the final in ours because no one can speak.
Yeah.
I'm just going to watch it on my son's going to watch. We're going to sit and watch
and then
it
have your little cards and do your points.
Yeah.
So I'm like that with Strictly. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I'd have a
exactly.
Strictly. We had a Strictly night, didn't we? And people
Yeah.
spoke, and I was
She was
absolutely
glaring
fuming.
at
I was like,
them. It was like
and I'd organised
and even
it.
her mum was there. She invited everyone, and she was like that. When people say, and I was like laughing to myself.
Oh,
It was-
see, I love Eurovision as well. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying I've always hosted parties. And I just thought everybody had parties for Eurovision because we always
No, I've
did.
known people
So-
thought I was weird over it.
When I worked overseas, I was overseas nearly
course.
14 years. So I've had Eurovision parties in Greece, I was saying,
Yeah,
in Greece, Mexico, in Spain. The Mexican Eurovision party is one to remember because they didn't know what the hell was going on because they don't even know what it is, but they'll join in
loved
with
it.
anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's brilliant.
Brilliant. I'd say Eurovision Village.
Oh,
Because
I
you're in
would
the outdoors, like a big outdoor
Yeah.
concert, isn't
It's
it?
a festival.
But
Yeah.
we've got tickets to go to the big concert they're having here on the 7th, Sunday the 7th.
Oh,
of
yeah?
May. Yeah. So I got them online through the National Lottery. I signed up to play the lottery the week before. Because you had to be
Yeah,
a member.
yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. So I got tickets for that the Sunday before outside.
That
so.
is, I have to. That's my event that I'm overseeing that one. So I hate saying, can't tell you, but it's going to be the biggest thing that we've ever done outside St George's since the opening ceremony for the Capital Culture in 2008. The lineup is phenomenal.
Well-
There's things that we've never done in this city before that'll be happening.
I'm so glad I said, yeah, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Yeah.
pick someone else who might be Eurovision-y. But now made up.
No, because it's not. It's just a great
It's
gig.
just a- yeah,
a
it's a
big
party,
thing.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
And
I'm dead
I keep
excited.
saying, anyone who asks me, what should we wear? I go, Skechers, not stilettos, because
Oh, no,
there's a
no,
lot
yeah,
of
of course.
standing around. But
Yeah, you
the
said.
whole thing is happening in front of you, above you, behind you. It's not a stage show.
No, it says
just
that
this
it's 360
whole
degrees.
wow.
Yeah,
experience. Yeah.
Oh, I'm
It's
dead
gonna be
excited now.
amazing.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
boss.
going to be brilliant.
Brilliant. Okay.
She's
Um,
in the know
I
on
know.
everything.
Boss, isn't it? We're in the know.
Tell
We're
us
all in the know.
everything you're allowed to.
I know. So, in terms of, I know you've organised all of these, but in terms of crowd, sort of like, feedback,
Yeah.
the Giants or the LFC parade?
Oh,
God, I thought this was an enjoyable
no,
one.
no.
This is
tough.
the introduction.
This is the art.
Do you know what I'm going to say? Giants was amazing, obviously, anyone that's seen them, but LFC parade, and the reason why is because we had 6 weeks to plan it, and you know, like anything, you put your plans in place, everything's great, and then that awful situation happened in Paris.
Yeah.
And so everything that we'd done just took on like a greater resonance, and it felt more important to get it right. God, it makes me feel quite emotional,
Yeah.
because I was in, we have gold, silver, bronze command. I was in gold for that whole day. And the fans that come back, some of them were quite traumatised. Some of them had been at Hillsborough and said it's so similar to this.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And we got a message that sent through when we arrived back in Liverpool, because the coaches were all returning back. Seeing the Strand felt like a hug.
Oh,
And
Wow. Yeah.
and we were able to send that message and say, this is what happens when you treat football fans with dignity and
100%.
respect.
Yeah.
Not a single arrest. 500,000 people on the streets of
oh, it was
Liverpool.
amazing.
Yeah, it
that
brilliant.
was.
There's just an amazing photograph,
Yeah.
isn't there? I don't
There's
know
loads
whoever's
of them.
taken
There's
it,
just
and it's the
loads.
one of you just can see people.
Yeah,
You
on
can't
the
see the
Strand,
Strand.
yeah.
You can just see people. They're hanging on the lamppost. They're hanging on the windows. There's just people and flares, and it's just amazing, isn't it? And you just think, wow.
I
like,
mean,
you know.
honestly, if you could be behind, they should make a documentary behind the scenes of every
What has
event,
to be done,
because
definitely,
the
yeah.
stress of it.
not the stress, but the humour is what gets you
Yeah.
through. But we had all them new planted trees, along the Strand.
Oh no!
So we
I
had,
didn't even
we
think
call
of
it Tree Gate. So they were like, you can't bring the bus along the Strand. These trees are only 6 months old, and if they get damaged, So we said, well, we need to do something, and we can't put a fence around them because people will just climb the fence.
Yeah.
So we had this, what do we do? So in the end, the plan was, we got photographs of Jürgen Klopp.
That was
And he's
clever.
like that, there's a photo of Jürgen like this.
Yeah.
And so we just wrote, please do not climb on these trees. And we put them on every single tree on the
How
strand.
clever.
Not a single person climbed the
Wow!
Because
Jürgen said,
that
yeah,
was him.
that was good
Genius,
marketing.
actually,
That
yeah.
whoever thought of that, brilliant.
Some people are so resourceful, though, aren't they, at these events, how high you can climb, and little
yeah.
kids, and you're like, oh my God,
What about you, Sam? The Giants or the LFC parade?
So I love the LFC parade. I thought it was absolutely brilliant, but of course we've had quite a few. The Giants was something else, and I came to see that the Giants, I'll just think I'll remember forever. Each one I've been to see, they've just been fantastic. From when the Spider first came, La Machine and all the rest of it. And I love the last one that came and they were all speaking French. Then and you can see them and they're going up and down. So for me, the Giants definitely, although obviously the parade's a close second.
Yeah. I think I think the Giants as well. Go on.
Okay. Would you rather attend the Eurovision just as a guest, just sitting there, or be part of the organisation of it like you have been?
Easy. Part of the organisation.
Oh, really?
100%.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just, I love Eurovision, and having played a part and seen behind the curtain, I was really worried. Once you see behind the curtain, you see how all the magic happens, that it would lose its magic, and it's not. It's just made it even better, and just to just play a part in shaping it and being an insider almost, like Claire McColgan, who's our director.
Yes, of course.
Well, she didn't know anything about Eurovision. So when we were bidding for it, and I was going, it's a perfect fit for Liverpool.
Oh, amazing.
And she was saying, is it? And I was going, it's perfect fit. She was, why? And I was going, because it's loud and it's big and it's camp.
It's party,
it's
and everybody fits in, don't they? And everyone
the way
doesn't care what everyone else is wearing and stuff, isn't it?
Being able to bring the city in as well, and how the city have just embraced it. We only have to say, get involved with Eurovision, and everyone was like that. Okay, what time?
It's
fantastic.
No, I think it's brilliant. And our friend Peter Lloyd, who's been on this show, he's an award-winning gardener. He said, I want to do a garden for Ukraine. So he's got involved. He's got the Baltic involved, the council, everyone. And we've done the translations in every language. So when you go over with your barcode on your phone, you'll see the sign. So whatever your country you're from, you'll go over the flag, and it'll tell you all about it in your language. So we're just getting all the translations in now. So it's dead exciting.
That'll be cool, though. It's like a cool project.
I'm happy as well to have had some like a professional involvement, with it, which is what I want.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
So it's dead exciting.
Eurovision's like for the cities an amazing thing, isn't it? Like, because everybody knows it, don't they? People want to come from everywhere, isn't
and
it?
I think it's lovely as well that we're hosting it for Ukraine. And of course, what a lot of people hadn't realised was Liverpool was twins with the death there, and they massively fought our case as well, and that made a big difference to us. And it is very much, and from the off, they've said we're hosting it on behalf. So all the colours are yellow and blue, and I think that's been massively apparent. You know?
Our bid from the very beginning, we were clear. This isn't about hosting Eurovision, because it's it is on behalf of Ukraine. And I think when you see the programme, and we've gone out with the cultural programme and all of our artistic commissions, we've partnered with Ukrainian artists and Liverpool artists, Ukrainian musicians, Liverpool musicians. So it's a twinning across all of these different genres, and that is what will give this Eurovision its uniqueness, because anyone can put a big show on. But it's got to have integrity, and that, I think that's outside of the, we all love the party, but outside of that, it's got real depth as well, and that's been really lovely to be part.
Amazing.
I know, I love it. It's the most exciting thing ever. If anyone had told me in my lifetime Eurovision would have been in Liverpool, I just wouldn't have thought it was possible. So I'm ecstatic about the whole thing, and have been from day one. I cried
when you were 8.
I cried in Oz when they announced it. So
we're not playing this or that anymore.
No, we've got
because we've got too many exciting things to talk about. So my Uncle Ron's listening. Will Eurovision outshine the coronation?
Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, I don't mean to be disparaging of the coronation, because we're screening that. We will be showing the coronation as well.
Brilliant.
But we've been really clear. We are the Antichrist. to the coronation. Everything that they are, we will not be, because we're not in competition. It's two completely separate things.
Yeah, as
This
you
is-
say, we're hosting
Yeah.
on behalf of Ukraine. Yeah.
And they've both got a joy running through them, but this has got a lot more glitter.
Yeah, with extra glitter.
Yeah, it's a different type of occasion. Yes, of course.
Brilliant. Okay, so we are like super, super lucky to be here in St. George's with Angie. She's like super, super busy.
Yes.
And she's given her time up tonight.
Yes.
So like a massive, massive thank you for that. And so we're going to hand it over to Angie, and she's going to talk about where she started, how she got to where she is, anything else that she wants to talk about. And then Sandra and I will butt
just
in
interrupt
as we
all
go
the
along.
time with questions.
So we've got like 30-ish minutes.
Okay.
For you to tell us your journey,
Wow.
which
Yeah.
will go like disappear.
Why?
Everyone goes
Yeah.
30
What
minutes
you
and go,
do?
what?
How did you end up doing what you do?
So, so I went to Broughton Hall with Alison, and it was the 80s, and you know, we don't like to bang on the 80s were a dark time, but
It was
it was
horrendous.
like leave school and get a job. That's what you need to
If
do.
you could.
Yeah. And so I did well in my qualifications. I would have loved to have stayed on and would have loved to have gone to university. It just was not an option, you know, in our family. So it was fine, leave, get a job. I got one of them terrible YTSs, but I got a YTS with the council back then, which was £65 a week, which was like a lottery win compared to
they were like
£27.
20.
But from the day I started, I thought this cannot be the rest of my life. Like me gran and my aunties would go, "You're in the council, it's a job for life." And I just like, this can't be a job for life. I just knew. And so as soon as I turned 18, got a job in a pub with Alison Heaversides. That's how we met. So I worked in the pub and just started saving, knowing that I need to go traveling. I need to go away and just discover a different place. It wasn't that I hated Liverpool. I just knew intrinsically there was a different path for me, really. So I went away for what was going to be 6 months, and you know, itchy feet. Now I'll come back and I'll have a normal life.
Hang on a minute. Did everyone think you were mad leaving the job in the council?
Oh
to
my
go
God!
abroad?
Yeah, everyone thought I was mad, and I just knew it doesn't matter. We'd been brought up with a really strong work ethic. We'd all worked since we were 13 in Saturday jobs. That's what we did, and so even my sisters and my brother now, we've got that ethos. If this ended tomorrow, I would do any other job. I'm not precious at all, and that's just how. So that's the way I saw it. There'll be something else for me. So I went traveling for a little while, for a few months, and then I just knew I need to do any job that keeps me traveling and visiting different countries. So when I came back, I literally wrote, ironically, to every cruise line, every airline, and every holiday company, because there was loads of holiday companies then.
There were.
And it was Thomson Holidays were the first one that come back to me and said, "Oh yeah, you know, come for an interview." So I went for an interview down in London, and then a week later I was in Greece, and I thought, I'll do this.
Amazing,
I'll do this for 6 months again. I'll do this for 6 months, and just I found my people.
So were you a holiday rep, or were you?
I was a holiday rep. Wild.
Yeah, amazing.
Nearly got sacked about 27 times because, you know, I was wild and naughty. And then the second year I went back.
Brilliant.
I could see the resort manager, her face dropped.
Oh, I got you.
Anyway, she called me into, I'll never forget, she called me into her office, and it was Halkidiki I'd worked, which I didn't even know where that was at the time, because it wasn't a popular place like Crete or anything. And so she said, "Angie, you were this close to not coming back," because I was going to say, "Don't bother." And she said, "So you're going to be working on Scythania. There's 3 peninsulas, Halkidiki, and Cassandra is the party bit, and Scythania is this quiet, sleepy Greek part, which is 2 hours away from everyone else." And so I said,
"Banished you."
She said, "I've put you in Scythania," and I went, "But I don't drive." And she said, "I know." And she said, "I've put you there so you can't be influenced or influence anyone else." And so I was really thinking, oh no, this isn't going to be for me. I loved it. I was working in a Greek village with Swedish, French, Italian reps, so
Yeah.
like a real mix of cultures. So it was
Lovely.
a different way.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so, yeah, I just got the book. I worked really hard, started to kind of really shine and fly, and
Yeah.
found my place. I thought I'm going to get a few years out of this, and I got promoted really
Yeah.
quickly after that, and ended up working. God, I worked Canary Islands, mainland Spain, Mexico, Cuba. That was Cuba
yeah.
was interesting because they'd asked me to go there and do a load of contracts with hotels and excursions, and I was like, but it's a communist country, isn't it? So how do you do commercial deals in a communist country? And they said, oh no, you can't tell them that that's what you're there for. And they said, so you need a work visa, and so you can't put what you're doing on your work visa, because if it's a job that a Cuban could do, then you're not allowed in. So I said, what should I put then? They went, put computer expert. And that is literally on my work visa for Cuba. Computer expert. I could just about do PowerPoint.
How mad's
I know.
that? It's great,
So
isn't it?
yeah, so I ended up spending 14 years nearly overseas. My last stint was 5 years in Ibiza, which I lived there all year round,
did
which
ya?
was which I just
I
loved.
bet you've got some tales.
I just can't remember them.
5
No.
years in Ibiza.
So was it the sun? Was it the sun? Was it everybody being happy? What sort of like was your
Do you
vibe?
know, it was the people that I felt like I'd found my tribe, as they say, because like-minded people who, yeah, of course, there was a lot of partying, but my God, I've never worked harder than I did when I was overseas. And when I look back, my time was the era really before mobile phones.
Yeah.
So disasters happen, especially, I look at Ibiza, we had 1.5 million people in the summer arriving. That's a lot of people. That's, the equivalent of cities, and what happens in cities happens to people on holiday, and you have to deal with it. They don't go to the police, they don't go to the hospital, they go to their holiday. Now, I was manager at the time of the island. I had about 200, 300 staff. And the things that happen in a summer season. But some of the hardest, toughest times was some of the times that I learned the most as well,
You can see actually how this has helped you to even
completely.
roll. It's funny how you do things when you're younger.
Yeah.
Roll on, 20 odd years or whatever, and there you are again, and it sort of very much led the way, like massive crowd management, dealing with all these people.
Crisis management. I mean, some real like hard disasters that we dealt with overseas, as well as, flash floods where we had to evacuate whole kinds of villages, or terrible coach accidents, things like this. So now, like, you're absolutely right. I still say, despite everything that I've done while I've worked for Culture Liverpool, everything I learned overseas, and I just apply it to here, particularly the crisis management, because I do a lot of crisis management stuff for the council, because really it's about leading a team through a really difficult time and saying, we're all in this together, no one will be left behind, but it's going to be tough, let's get through it. And so, we were chatting earlier about COVID response. We were heavily involved in COVID response, and that's, despite all the amazing events we've done, it's been one of the most purposeful, proudest times of my whole career, where you can apply like the skills that you've learned with operations and logistics and do something really meaningful with that. So,
and have a big.
So for the people who didn't so I didn't know what had happened, sort of during COVID and your crisis management, and how, you went from, as I was all thinking, like it's going to be 2-4 weeks, whatever. Can you give us a little bit of background about that?
So we got asked, because we do a lot of operations for the council, and they'll ask us to do things. They said, we need to set up a food operation, because we think, the government are going to say people who are shielding, with those underlying health conditions, won't be able to leave their home. So could you set up a food operation? And we went, yeah, fine, no problem. And they went, it's only going to be for about 200 or 300 people. Anyway, it was 57,000 people.
When you say food operation, what do you mean? Shopping for them?
Yeah, so everything closed, didn't it?
Yeah.
So overnight, people who were shielded got told, you cannot leave your homes. And so the government said, we're going to put we need to put a food delivery system in place for these people. So they were supposed to be delivering HGVs full of food the next day, and we were all ready and waiting.
Yeah.
And those lorries didn't come, so we took ourselves off to Tesco and we just went shopping and we delivered. But that was really small scale. But when we were at the peak, it was 57,000 people, and we took over the whole of the Echo Arena, the exhibition centre, the whole lot, and it was an Amazon production line. It was so large scale. But we are control freaks, so we ended up putting, proper delivery systems where we could track the most efficient route that these vans take. We had emergency drop-offs for people. Some of the stories, we had a little call centre set up where people would say to the little old ones, because we started checking in with usual people and saying, how you doing? Have you got food in the house? And they go, yeah, we've got a cup of soup. So don't worry, give it to somebody else who needs it. And then you get other people that go, my food order hasn't delivered. And, they're living in a detached house in Moulton Village. And they go, no prawns, like that. Don't worry, there won't be any prawns in this. But that was amazing. Off the back of that, this whole setup that we had, we ended up running it for 8 months.
Wow.
And the NHS then asked us, can you set up a similar operation, but for all the PPE? So we were delivering PPE to all the hospital trusts. But it's amazing how quickly that becomes very normal as well. I mean, we couldn't wait to get back to our day jobs and do a big event again, but to be able to do something so important was a privilege.
Essential.
And knowing that you're actually saving and helping people right the way through, like their lives.
And it's the communication as well. I volunteered to deliver things to people in the area where I lived, and they rang me, and I didn't hear from anyone for a few weeks, and then I did, and I rang this chap, and he said, "Oh, I'm all right. So and so's been," and then so and so rang as well, and he was quite happy. Dad said, and I said, "Okay." So then I rang the council back and said, "Oh, actually," he said, "he's fine," and she said, "Okay, that's fine." So they had it all boxed off. Clearly, that was you, and then it was all fine and everything. So that was that. So I made PPE instead. Because a friend of ours who's been on the show's a surgeon, and she was like, "There's nothing. We haven't got anything."
I think one of our first guests
was
Carol, Ben, wasn't it? And then it was Carol,
who coordinated 100 women, and she set it up. They were just every night doing mask after mask after mask, and then they put the more advanced sewers on overalls and stuff.
And she did it from there. She was our first guest, wasn't she? And everybody was blown away with all these ordinary people who just went, right, come on, this is what we're doing.
I've got a sewing machine. Okay, come on, because there were different levels. So if you were rubbish, you could just do the basic masks and that. If you were dead competent in that time, you'd be doing overalls and that.
True, from that time where we were doing food deliveries, and because all of the usual support networks just kind of collapsed, didn't they, overnight? And suddenly it's like, you've taken these rose-tinted glasses off and you see that actually this city is supported by and propped up by these amazing people who have been doing good things in their communities all along.
All their lives,
Not just when COVID happened. They were already in those communities doing great things.
It's an ethos, and it's something I've lived away like yourself as well, and I was nearly 6 years in London, and one of the things I always feel about here is there's almost a safety net, but it's like a community safety net, so where people see and they'll help people out, or but in a kind way. If a child hasn't got a pair of decent shoes or something, somebody might say, "Oh, my lad's growing out of them, do you want this?" Or people are kind and they will try and help each other wherever possible. And make sure everything's okay, which is good.
I know.
So when you come back to your day job, what was the first event that you put on?
When I came back to Liverpool.
No, when you came back after COVID. What was your first event that you could put on?
After the food hub, we then set up the COVID testing all around the city, and then we set up the vaccine. So it was like, what will the day job be? And I think our first event was the LFC Hope Parade.
Really?
Start with something small.
Yeah.
Because because I run the cruise terminal as well, so we'd reintroduced cruise operations. We were the first port in the world to have ships leaving in the world.
Wow.
And how that came to be. The head of Disney, who I'd known for a long time, he phoned me up and he said, I've just seen, do you remember Brigadier Joe Fossey, who was from the army when we first set up COVID testing? So he's on.
Oh yes, yeah. He
We
was
were
on the
deployed.
telly, yeah.
We were deployed to the army, and he was just Joe to us. So we're based with the army in their kind of headquarters here. And whenever we do an event, we have Percy pigs. That's the law.
My
You've got to have
favourite.
Percy pigs. So this was an event. We treated setting up COVID testing like an event. Percy pigs. So we're eating Percy pigs with Joe at 6 o'clock in the morning, and then he's on the briefing stuff next to Boris that night. And I was like,
Oh, that's
Joe. We
I
were
saw
eating
him
Percy pigs
there.
this morning. So when we were deployed to the army, I mean, it was incredible. It was amazing. And, again, they got adopted, didn't they, by the whole city. But we just wanted to get back to doing a normal event. And so the head of Disney phoned me and he said, Angie, I've just seen this guy talking about COVID testing in Liverpool. And I'm thinking, you must have had something to do with that. Do you think you could do a setup for us for Disney? And so that was Disney with the very first ship in the world. And Liverpool was the first port where they operated.
Isn't that brilliant? That's about being proactive,
That
isn't
opened
it?
up the cruise industry for the rest of the UK after that, really, because we proved it could be done in a COVID bubble, so to speak.
In a safe way.
So I'm sure the homecoming parade was our first event.
Just a little tiny one then.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you ever
How
sit
funny.
and reflect and look back at all of the amazing events that you've done? When you finish your events, I know you'll do like a debrief about the event, but do you actually sit there personally and think, shut the front door, I've done all this mad stuff?
Do you know, I do, to be honest, and I count myself so lucky because I can genuinely say I've never had that Monday morning feeling.
Yeah.
And we've had some tough things to get through, but you can get through anything with the right people around you. And I look at the Culture Liverpool team. We've worked together now 15 years since the opening of Capital Culture, and we almost communicate in shorthand now.
Yeah.
We know, what each other's skill sets are, the bits that we like. I always love the tough stuff that, people couldn't quite crack. Okay, bring it. I'll do that bit. Other people are great at oiling the wheels. Sue, who I work with, is amazing with the police. Yeah. So we almost just scatter when we've got something big to deliver. So Sue, you're going to do the police. Yeah. And I'm going to do them really awkward people. So all the time you think, I mean, we never get to see an event or experience it like other people, but we look at the faces of the people in the crowd, and that's that reflected kind of, this was a good one. We know we nailed this one, but we're learning all the time as well, though.
And of course, we've got a reputation as a city now for all these events and everything, which is fabulous. And it's like I've been thinking a lot about. I've been looking at all the promotions and everything for Eurovision, and for those people who weren't around in the 80s or when older, you absolutely just wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe what the Strand looks like.
No.
The Albert Dock was horrendous. You just can't imagine how amazing it is now to how it was.
And I think, we were really clear as well with this Eurovision, not to keep banging on about what Liverpool used to be, because I speak to my nieces and nephews. They think I'm talking about Victorian times because they have only known Liverpool as brilliant,
vibrant, which is lovely. Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it? You're right. So that's a good point. I'm moving forward.
100%. And we've got like so many cool things, haven't we? And people look on us now and voted like the friendly city, and people who come. Or you meet somebody, and where you're from, and they I've been, best night out we've ever had. Or, oh my God, somebody sat next to me on the bus and talked to me,
Really
positive. Isn't it? It's all. I think that the actual, we need to be like really promoting the positive vibes of Liverpool now.
Well, I think this is an opportunity, isn't it? And
well, I mean, there's a whole science as well behind why we bid for Eurovision. Yes, we knew we could do it well, but when you study them tourism, probably going a bit boring now, but when you study the tourism figures, you've got a 5-year legacy of tourism going through the roof in the aftermath of Eurovision, and we've learned from other places like Turin, who hosted it last. What they got out of it, that we go, okay, we want that too, but we want more. And so for us, it's about changing those tired perceptions that people have got that are boring
now, isn't it?
people
not
who were
like,
maybe
yeah,
our
move
age
on,
doing that
yeah.
whole calm down.
Yeah. Boring now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 80s want their jokes back, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No,
So
of
we
course.
don't even reflect on that. We just talk about how brilliant it is and how great it's going to be.
Brilliant.
But it did make me laugh. We did that Eurovision promo video. I don't know if you've seen
Yeah,
it, which
yeah.
went out on the
Yeah.
Eurovision website, and I think it had 200,000 views in an hour or
Yeah,
something.
that's right.
People go, it looks amazing. It's going to be great. And then somebody just wrote, because we'd presented ourselves,
Yeah.
like each part that we're leading on. Somebody just wrote, not even in being horrible, what language are they speaking?
Oh, just like a genuine.
Genuine. What language are they speaking?
Oh, it's terrible.
That's amazing, isn't it?
It's terrible, you know.
We
it
were
really
listening
is.
to one of the girls was on the radio and they put it on loudspeaker, and we were all like that. And then even one of the girls said, "Oh, I'm from Liverpool and I can't understand it." Because we just speak so fast.
Yeah,
don't we?
So quick.
When I lived in Birmingham, and then I used to come back into the boys to run the pubs, and I used to come back in, and then I'd talk, and they'd go, "You've been on the phone to your mum?" And I was like, "Yeah," and they go, "I can't understand you." And me and Stuart came, my brother came and stayed, and we were at the bar having a conversation, and this fella was like absolutely amazed, and then he went, "I haven't got a clue what you do," because it's like you just speed up, isn't it, when you're with
when you're with someone. When I used to work on aircraft and that in my 20s, and it used to be really good if you were flying with someone from Liverpool, could you just go past us that, and you can just speak really quickly. Whereas I couldn't speak to my colleagues like that because they didn't know what I was saying to them and everything. And I remember this girl saying to me once, we were in the galley at the back, and she said, "Sandra, I honestly can't imagine anyone with a stronger accent than you." This was at British.
And you really haven't got one.
I said, "Oh, no, there are people with stronger accents than me." Yeah, there are. Do you know what I mean? But,
so Alison's listening in.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Alison said a little something here. Free Barry Bethel. What does that mean? So that means something in code. And she's put, she can confirm that you were wild. But great memories. And then and that was a little bit earlier, but we couldn't read that. And now it says, "I'm so proud of you. You make our city a better place. Always knew you were very special."
Alison, you're special.
But I mean, and this our program from day one is about ordinary people. Doing extraordinary things and inspiring the local community, inspiring people to go on and do other things. You know, we just have amazing people on all the time, don't we?
Yeah.
And there was you left school, you got your YTS, you got a good YTS, and then your family were horrified because you went off to Greece or wherever. Do you know what I mean? But you look what you've done, and that experience in your life, you've come home, and what you've done and what you do now for the city, and it's just incredible. Isn't it?
But I also think, God, the council's been through tough times, hasn't it? It's got its critics, and it's right to have its critics. But I have to say, Culture Liverpool, we kind of operate like a bubble within it. Claire, who's my director, she has just blazed a trail, really, because culture, we were saying earlier, our audiences now from Liverpool, well, we've got very high standards for our free events. We've set, there's high expectations, isn't there? And we have brought culture. I don't mean that in a disingenuous way, but when people are engaging with River of Light, they're engaging with art and culture, and those children that maybe will choose that path for themselves because they can see, it's something that brings joy. So it's a privilege for us to do what we do, and we don't ever take that for granted, because we know there's a lot of people that would like to be doing what we're doing as well. So
So what would your advice be for a young person who maybe wants to get into the tourism?
Well, I don't even know if the opportunities exist that maybe existed for us, because for me, I just went and did it, and the requirements were you need a backbone, you need grit, determination and tenacity, and a good sense of humour, and a really strong liver. And I don't think those same opportunities exist now, but I know a lot of people will do a degree in tourism, but really you have to travel.
You've got to live it, haven't you?
I think you've got to travel. I think travel's the best thing you can ever do.
It's like for the young people to go to like a Camp America or something, isn't it? You go out there, experience different cultures, experience different life. you know, have a good time with your friends and things, isn't
Yeah.
it? And just go and just live your best life.
Yeah.
And we were talking before about hospitality. We, you know, a young man coming before, didn't he? He was helping us out, and he's, you know, he's doing amazing. And you were saying that you talent spotted people, didn't you? You know, while, you know, are they good as a team? You know, what sort of key people? And you've mentioned a lot of times that it's the key people around you, and we believe that, don't we? It's
very much so.
Who have you got?
Very
Who
much
you can rely on, and you know they're gonna, you know, give their all and do everything that they need to do. I do think a team culture is.
I love it. I studied. I studied a master's during COVID because we weren't busy at all.
Because you didn't have much on.
I had that spare 5 minutes.
You didn't have much on.
And it kind of opened my mind to the more kind of, you know, the leadership and what is it that makes a good leader and the science behind it. And I found it intriguing, but equally I think sometimes it's quite instinctive as well. And I love the academic side of it, but equally I do believe with the people that I really love mentoring, coaching, training, investing, spotting that raw talent, somebody who just needs a break. If they've got the right attitude, I think you can teach people anything.
I think so, and a willingness to learn, and they're keen. And if they're naturally a kind person, you know, very much.
I've got people, you know, you see brilliant people, but you think it's just too hard work. You will not fit into this team. But you see someone who's keen, wants to learn, will roll up the sleeves and get stuck in. You go, come with us.
And of course,
you know,
everyone
we'll
has
bring you
their
on.
niche. Maybe someone who doesn't suit your team might be, you know, really successful doing something different. I believe everyone has the right job, and sometimes if people are unhappy, it's not where they're meant to be. They're meant to be somewhere else, you know. But what a great opportunity for a young person coming in and getting involved and things like this. You know, because a lot of people study event management and that now, don't they? Because there's all this health and safety and the security. That I can't even imagine. It must be horrendous.
I mean, we bring a lot of event management students in during the summer normally when they're looking for work experience, and you think the experience that they get, they're not sat at a desk filing, typing, photocopying. It's get your high-vis vest on, we're going to do a site visit, what do you think? And they just by osmosis absorbing all of this experience. And you know, we've got a couple of students working on Eurovision with us now.
Oh, imagine that. Imagine that student said, I'm just going to go and work on Eurovision.
That's incredible, isn't it? That's a really excellent opportunity.
It's brilliant. And then because we all think that we're still 20, really, and then you realise 30 years older than you.
I do feel really young. And sometimes I'm walking past them and I think, oh, how did that happen? Because inside I do feel like 26, definitely.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
Yeah. I feel that's my perfect age. 26. That feels like I think the same. But I think I'm still down with the kids, and then you realise they're not even being horrible, and they go, "You're really funny for an older lady."
Thanks for that, love.
What happens to me is people crack jokes about someone being old, and they go, "No," and the younger than me, the person they're talking about, and I just sit there like that. That happens to me all the time.
Or you mention people and people don't know who they are.
But I do all the time. So we have guests on. We had and they're absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. We had the leading ladies on last week. And they've done loads. What they're doing is amazing. And we were chatting. And when we did this and that, and I was saying names of bands. And
you've been to see Big Country, hadn't you?
I'd been to see Big Country. Neither of them knew what on earth I was talking about. And Helen got onto it. She said, I don't think they know. I don't think Alan Clare knew what you're talking about. And I was like, oh.
They were trying to be dead polite though, which was the funniest thing. The faces were like that, and I was like, they haven't got a clue. And whoever we had on guest was a couple of weeks ago, you said this or that, this band or that band, and I could see just the tumbleweeds, and I was like, you don't know who they are, do you?
I know. Never mind. We'll have to do.
So, what's your favourite event that you've ever put on?
You know, you'd immediately go to the big ones, like the Three Queens event was special because we planned that for 4 years, and
that was incredible, wasn't it?
We were chatting about it earlier. When I think I was with Cunard today, we're planning something else for the summer, so they've come up. It's the same team that we did Three Queens with,
lovely.
And you know, we had to push them really hard to do what was called river dance in the end, which was
Yeah, it
those
was
choreographed
incredible,
manoeuvres, because they were just going to sail up the river. And I was like, that.
You've
What?
got to
You
dance.
can't just sail up the river.
Yeah.
And because Cunard bosses were coming, I'd gone a bit posh and got all these cakes, and I thought I'd better, pull all the stops out. And I was like, you can't just sail the ships up the river.
Yeah.
If we're going to have people
It's gotta be
there,
something
it's got to be
special,
something
yeah.
special. That happens everywhere. And they were like, well, what? And I was going, they need to maneuver. And then I ended up taking these chocolatey eclairs and this custard tart, and I was going, that's Queen Mary too. She's going to go like that. And then the two custard tarts, they can go into chevron, then arrowheads, and they were like that. What is this woman suggesting? Anyway, that's what we did in there.
That's brilliant.
We had that 1
Incredible.
hour of those manoeuvres, and I was saying to you earlier, the crowds on the pierhead singing songs and waving flags all day, and then when those ships started moving, they fell silent, and I just thought, oh God, they're going to crucify me. They hate it. It's boring, because everyone just felt quiet. And when I went up to the pierhead, they were just in awe. The crowd was just in awe of what they were seeing, and I saw families holding up photographs of their granddad who worked for Cunard, who was no longer with us. And it was just
like celebrating that, isn't it? Which is lovely,
amazing,
isn't it? Yeah.
Really, what an event. And
I was on the beach in Wallasey, so it was just you were just stood, and we were stood on the sand, and you could go quite far forward, and there were the Three Graces, and I went to, there was a ball. The Three Graces ball, actually, for the Michael Causer Foundation, I went to, that was really good as well. It was just amazing.
Yeah.
But then there were sailors, so we all had our photos taken. That was good as well.
But then tonight in St George's Hall, we've got Taste Ramadan event, and so the fact,
which is amazing, isn't it?
They're extremes, but they're so important, and what a privilege to be able to do these lovely things. And we do another lovely event for looked after children at Christmas here in St George's Hall, and again, that's just so meaningful. It's no less important than stuff for 500,000 people. It's using these council-owned buildings to really
and I know
add value.
I spoke to a few people who are involved in St George's Hall, and one of the things they was really advocating was that it's accessible, that people can come in here, and it's not just for certain people, that everyone can attend. And I think that's proven with the event you've got on today. We've got a really diverse community here, and it's about being inclusive. And our ethos of the city is everyone can have a go. Everyone can come and welcome everyone, and I think that's really good. And I think that echoes what you were saying about the team you've got and everyone working together and working with different people to make everything happen for everyone.
Small moments really matter, and coming back to that point, we're in a privileged position where we can help create lifelong memories, whatever they are. And we never take that for granted. And I think the minute someone in the team did take that for granted, not in a horrible way, it's hard to be front of house and, that customer care, there's no off switch, it's got to be on all the time. And for some people, there's a shelf life for how long you can do that. But it shows if somebody's not loving it. But thankfully, I've got a brilliant team. They love it. It shows in the tiny detail and the care that they apply to whatever events they're doing.
If you need any help with the team, just let us know. I'm sure we could put a day aside. Or if you need anyone to come on your team, I think we'll have a queue of people who are very
We would have a massive queue.
Definitely.
We would have a massive queue, because what a cool place.
So are you allowed to give us any exclusives, Angie? Is there anything?
I can't. But on the 24th, which is next Monday, isn't it? We're going to reveal some of the lineup for the event that's happening on the 7th of
when
May.
we're going.
The event we're going to.
The national,
because we play the
big
lottery.
Eurovision. Well, so we're going to reveal some of the lineup.
Oh, so next Monday night, okay.
Yeah, next Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, and then
Brilliant.
they'll say when the rest of the tickets are on sale.
Amazing.
So,
Good job.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
Well, there's loads going on, and a massive thank you for giving your time as well. But we do have a red face moment. I'm good this week. I know you've got a special one.
Oh God, that was terrible. I forgot. I was like, what is it? Then I remembered. So, because I'm in business, like Helen, we go to lots of networking and meet people and talk about the businesses and that. So I got up, as you do, 5:15 in the morning, and went to a meeting on in the Racket Club on the other Wednesday. It was last week. So I'm talking to these people at the end, and I'm gluten-free, and the breakfast is bread rolls with bacon on. So I literally just took the bread away and ate the bacon, so I had something to eat in the morning. And then we're talking to these people, and these guys, they're saying, oh, so what is it you do and everything? Because they all know each other, and I was a visitor. And I told them about my business. And I'm talking probably for about 10 minutes, and this guy goes, oh, excuse me. And I had a scarf. He didn't even say, I had a scarf on, and there was a piece of bacon. Now, I don't mean a tiny bit of bacon. I mean half the piece of bacon was resting there on the scarf. It was absolutely, and I was like, right. So I came out and I texted her. I went, well, I've got my red face. There it is already. So that was the day after the show last week. So that was another classic. A lot of them do involve food and things like that. There's a photo of me. We had a friend who opened an Italian restaurant over the water, and all the people I used to work with, we went to the restaurant, and there's all photos which everyone shares now and then. And there's me like this, catching the pizza on a plate like that, you know, and I always think, there I am in the back like that. So I have got no shame whatsoever and no dignity.
So mine this week is I've been working in Bootle in Sefton, and two of the women who I see every now and again, I thought it was the same person. And I walked in today and I went, oh, and I thought, she goes home and gets changed and then comes back and cleans. God, how good is that? Like that. And I chat away to both of them, but I thought it was like the same person.
Sisters.
No relation whatsoever. So I went in the office and I was like, oh my days, I said I thought they were the same person. And everyone was just like, so they were all just gone. Everyone was just greeting. They were like, yeah, when you've been there for like 5 months.
Did you call them by the names?
No, I never called them by the names because I wasn't sure what the name was. But I would say like, hi, you're all right, and have a little chat. And
I
stuff.
taught in a school every Monday for a term, and the head teacher used to go, hello, Maureen. I used to go, hi, and just walk past. I never know, I just went, hi.
You missed your moment to correct it, and then you just had
to be Maureen.
I looked and I thought, no,
Maureen.
Hello, Maureen.
I'm going to change it in my phone now.
Yeah, I haven't had any. I don't really have red face moments because because I just always see the funny side. It's just a story to tell.
Yeah.
So, and I think the nature of the world that we're in, stuff happens all the time. But one moment, like I had a personal trainer, young lad, and he's great, and I was trying to get healthy. And he was going on holiday to Ibiza, and he said, so that's me. He said, I'm gone now for 2 weeks. And he went, should have took some measurements really before I went to Ibiza. And I went, of you? And he went, no, you. I'm a personal trainer. I thought I have pictures of me measuring, going, oh yeah, you look good for the beach. I'm not sure this is how it's supposed to be. He just looked at me and went, no, you.
That's us every day, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my life. I'm
brilliant.
That's so funny.
So we're going to do a shout out to the grown-ups, any grown-ups who've done amazing things. I am going to give a massive shout out to Chrissy, who is one of my PTs, and Lynn, who they both ran the Manchester Marathon. Wow. So on Sunday. So she was fuming. So I took them to Parker and I went, come and do a Park. And they were like, no, I ain't running. And then they went and did a marathon. So amazing effort. Well done to both of you. They were absolutely just.
And your friend had ran the Manchester Marathon.
Tom Simpson had ran it, but he's like PT, like Mr. Superfit. He'd ran it in like 3 hours and 17 minutes. When I saw him in the cafe, wasn't it? And he walked in and I was like, you ran the marathon yesterday? And he was like, yeah. But then I saw a picture of his foot. And he's got blisters all over the place. But he's going to be our guest in a few weeks. He's like a dead cool, gorgeous human being. So yeah, I'm dead excited that he's coming on.
That's so exciting. That's really, really
Who are you shouting out to? Which grown-ups?
Okay. There's loads actually at the minute. There's loads of cool stuff. Shout out to Petra and Andreas. Petra's my client who I teach English to, and I teach her the difference between English and Scouse as well. Yeah. That's part of the lessons because she doesn't understand sometimes. and they found their way to Wales. They moved here from Germany, and they've been up Mo Vamos
Oh,
today. 'Cause
amazing.
Helen took us all at New Year. So the day after New Year, wasn't it, on the bank holiday Monday? We went, was it New Year's Day or
Was
the
it
day
New Year's
after?
Day, the day after? I can't remember.
I can't remember. Anyway, no, the day after, because I was sick, wasn't I? And we went up Mo Vamos, and she just loved it. And she must have gone on about it since. So they've gone up today for the day out together.
Oh,
And I thought, there you
delighted.
go. There's kids going from Colomendy, and now people are visiting from Germany, and they're going up Mo Vamos.
Exactly.
So, and they've got German friends coming over this Thursday to stay. So she's so happy.
Brilliant.
So she's going to take them and
lovely.
show them.
And she can show them the
everywhere.
city now, can't you? Which
Yeah.
is lovely, isn't it?
Oh,
Which is
that's
cool.
lovely.
Yeah.
So have you got any
obviously-
grown-ups you want to shout out
I
to?
obviously need to get better friends.
Oh.
No, I think we're sat here in St George's Hall, and I've seen this event, this Ramadan event,
Yeah.
for 600 refugees,
Oh.
which has been put together in probably 3 or 4 days.
Wow.
So I think I want to shout out to the team because they're
100%.
loving being part of it.
Yeah.
And they're just going to create a really special moment for
Oh,
all the people that
lovely.
are here. So
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. And then it's Eid, isn't it, at the weekend?
Mm.
Yeah.
Exciting.
When we see the moon. So yeah, and when I pulled up, I saw all the people. I was thinking, oh, what's going on?
Yeah.
So I wanted to go in that room to see what was going on.
So do you want to know something terrible? If you want a red face, have we got? So when I was waiting to come in, 2 people pulled up and on bikes, and they were delivering stuff or something, and they pulled. So, but they were going to that event. So I thought that you guys had ordered food. So I was about to say, oh, I think it's for me. I didn't.
Oh, I'm gutted you didn't say that.
I lived, and then unfortunately they spoke to Angie, and she dealt with them straight away. And I thought, that's just my life, honestly. That's just.
Where's the red car?
I mean, I'm on another planet, honestly. I don't know where they come. And I thought, oh, I'm glad I didn't. Because I nearly said, oh, I think it might be for me, actually. I thought it was like a delivery or something. Delivery. I did.
I know you honestly believe that as well. So anyway, I think our time is up. Yeah. Alison says fab show.
Oh, it was
So thank you, Alison, for
Oh,
listening in,
thank
and
you.
thanks everyone else. A massive thank you to Angie. Thanks to Sandra.
Thank
And
you.
we're going to leave it with a closing quote or something like a mantra maybe that you live by, or a closing quote, something that you sort of think of.
God, quote. Do you know, I say a cheesy quote, but actually I love quotations, and I keep good ones in my phone. And my latest one, when we're kind of coaching different people, or just somebody who's maybe not having a good day, I say to them, find something that feeds your soul, because I think if you can do that, then you're just going to be happy regardless.
Forever. Find something that, how lovely. Well, you found something that feeds your soul, haven't you?
Unfortunate.
Thank God for
brilliant.
that.
And thank you very much, and we'll see everybody next week. Thank you.
Bye.